Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see love, relationships, and your own power. Too many women out here are running themselves ragged trying to hold on to a man who isn't fully invested. They are chasing, explaining, begging, overthinking, and losing themselves in the process. They think that if they just love harder, text faster, or care deeper, he will finally see their value. But here's the truth. That kind of love doesn't pull a man closer, it pushes him further away. The reality is this: men respond to energy, not words. They feel absence, not explanations. They are drawn to strength, not desperation. And the most powerful thing you can do in a relationship is something most women are terrified to try: let go peacefully. Yes, step back without anger, without drama, without begging or controlling. Let go while keeping your dignity, your composure, and your self-respect. Because when you do that, silence begins to speak. Your peace becomes magnetic. Distance gives him clarity. Your withdrawal awakens emotions he didn't know he had. And most importantly, you begin to choose yourself above all else. This is not about manipulation. It's about strategy. It's about showing a man what he truly has and what he stands to lose. Today, we are going to break down some powerful truths that will teach you how letting go peacefully isn't weakness. It is the ultimate act of strength, and it is exactly what pulls him back. Silence is louder than any argument. Let me talk to you slowly and clearly, because this right here is where most people lose their power without even realizing it. You have been taught that if something hurts you, you must speak. If a man pulls away, you must question. If he confuses you, you must demand clarity. If he goes cold, you must chase warmth. But I'm here to tell you that you have been playing a losing game because you have been giving your energy to someone who hasn't earned it. Silence, when used correctly, is not weakness. It is authority. It is not defeat. It is strategy. It is not childish. It is emotional maturity at its highest level. A lot of women think that love is proven through words, paragraphs, explanations, and emotional debates. They think that if they can just say the right thing, explain themselves better, or make him understand their heart, he will change. But here's the truth that nobody tells you: a man does not change because of your words. He changes because of your absence. When you argue, you are still giving him access to your emotions. When you plead, you are still showing him that you are emotionally available, no matter how he treats you. When you send long messages trying to fix things, you are telling him that you are willing to fight alone for a relationship that he is not invested in. Silence flips that entire dynamic. Silence removes your emotional presence and forces him to sit alone with his thoughts. Most men are not confronted by confrontation. They are confronted by quiet. When you stop calling, stop texting, stop checking in, stop reacting, that is when his mind starts racing. He may act unbothered at first, like he doesn't care, like he's relieved that you finally stopped complaining. But deep down, something begins to itch inside him. He starts noticing the spaces where you used to be. He opens his phone and realizes there is no good morning message. He scrolls through his day and feels a strange emptiness where your attention used to live. That silence starts speaking louder than any argument you could ever win. Your silence forces him to experience what life feels like without you. And that is something words can never make him feel. You can tell a man, "You will miss me one day," 1,000 times, and it will mean nothing. But when you actually go quiet, when you remove yourself emotionally and energetically, that is when he starts to feel the weight of your absence. He begins to replay moments, your laughter, your care, your patience, your presence, and realizes that he didn't appreciate you in the moment. Silence also protects your dignity. Every time you argue, beg, or chase, you hand over pieces of your power. You become emotionally exposed, vulnerable in a way that can be used against you. But when you choose silence, you maintain control over your emotional space. You are no longer performing for his attention or approval. You are simply living, moving forward, and allowing him to wonder where you stand. A man can dismiss your anger, but he cannot dismiss your absence. He can ignore your complaints, but he cannot ignore your silence. He can walk away from an argument, but he cannot escape the echo of your quiet. That quiet follows him into his thoughts at night. It creeps into his consciousness when he least expects it. He begins to question himself, not because you told him to, but because your silence forced him to. Silence also sends a powerful message without you saying a word. I am not desperate for you. It tells him that your world does not revolve around his presence or his validation. It shows him that you have boundaries, self-respect, and emotional strength. And believe it or not, that is far more attractive to a man than any emotional outburst ever could be. Most women don't realize that they lose a man long before the breakup. They lose him when they start over-talking, over-explaining, and over-giving. Silence brings mystery back. It makes him see you not as someone he can take for granted, but as someone he might actually lose. So when you choose silence, you are not retreating. You are stepping into your power. You are allowing the absence of your presence to do the talking. And that silence, when delivered with calmness and self-respect, becomes the loudest message he will ever hear. Your peace is what makes you irresistible. Let me slow this down and talk to you like someone who truly wants you to win in life and love. Most women don't lose a man because they are not enough. They lose him because they give too much, worry too much, react too much, and disturb their own peace in the process. And here's the deep truth that changes everything. A woman who is peace is more attractive than a woman who is perfect, emotional, or overly affectionate. Peace is power, and power is magnetic. You have to understand something about human psychology and male energy. Men are not naturally drawn to chaos, drama, or emotional overload. They might tolerate it, they might entertain it for a while, but they do not fall deeply in love with it. What pulls them in, what keeps them thinking, what makes them respect you, is a woman who is calm, composed, and centered in herself. Your peace speaks before you ever open your mouth. When you are at peace, your energy shifts. You stop chasing validation. You stop begging for attention. You stop overthinking every text, every silence, every change in his tone. You move through life with confidence, not anxiety. And that quiet confidence is deeply attractive to a man, even if he doesn't consciously understand why. A woman without peace is easy to read. Her emotions are on her sleeve. Her insecurity shows in her words, her actions, her reactions. She calls too much, texts too fast, assumes too quickly, panics too easily. A man can sense that immediately, and when he senses emotional instability, he pulls back, not because he hates her, but because he feels overwhelmed. But a woman who holds her peace, she is different. She does not react to every small thing. She does not explode over misunderstandings. She does not demand constant reassurance. That kind of emotional stability makes a man lean in rather than run away. Your peace also changes how you carry yourself. When you are peaceful, your posture is stronger, your voice is steadier, your presence is lighter. You don't walk like someone waiting for a man to complete her. You walk like someone who is already whole. That self-assured energy makes men take you more seriously because they see that you don't need them. You choose them. Most women think that love is about doing more. More texting, more explaining, more proving, more pleasing. But real attraction is built through being, not doing. When you sit in your peace, you become a rare presence. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer emotionally available at all times. You are no longer easy to shake. And that mystery, that calm, that emotional groundedness, that is what makes you irresistible. Peace also protects your value. When you react emotionally, you lower your perceived worth. When you argue desperately, beg for attention, or chase after someone who is distant, you send a message that you will accept less than you deserve. But when you maintain your peace, you silently communicate that you have standards, boundaries, and self-respect. A man may test you, but he cannot deny your strength when you remain calm. Your peace makes you emotionally safe to be around. A man feels he can talk to you without being attacked, criticized, or overwhelmed. He feels seen rather than pressured. He feels respected rather than controlled. And that sense of emotional safety builds deeper attraction than physical beauty ever could. But here is the most powerful part. When you are truly at peace, you are not trying to make him want you. You are simply living your life, growing, smiling, moving forward. And that is exactly what makes him want you. Men are naturally drawn to women who are happy within themselves because that happiness is contagious and inspiring. Your peace also flips the power dynamic. Instead of you waiting for his call, he starts wondering why you are so calm. Instead of you needing reassurance, he starts seeking your attention. Instead of you chasing, he begins to pursue, not because you manipulated him, but because your peaceful energy pulled him in naturally. A peaceful woman is unforgettable. She doesn't leave chaos behind, she leaves clarity. She doesn't leave bitterness, she leaves grace. She doesn't leave desperation, she leaves strength. And that kind of presence stays in a man's mind long after she has walked away. So remember this, your peace is not just good for you. It is your greatest form of attraction. It is the silent power that makes you respected, desired, and deeply valued. Distance creates clarity for him. Let me walk you through something that most people misunderstand about relationships, especially when emotions are high. When you are too close to someone, emotionally, mentally, or physically, everything becomes blurred. You are reacting, responding, trying, analyzing, and holding on so tightly that neither you nor him can see the situation clearly. Distance, however, has a unique way of cutting through confusion. It removes noise, slows everything down, and forces a man to think in a way he never does when you are constantly present. When you are always available, always talking, always fixing, always understanding, a man does not truly evaluate what he has. Your presence becomes background music, familiar, comforting, but not deeply appreciated. He gets used to you being there, and in that comfort, he stops reflecting on your value. Distance disrupts that comfort. It pulls you out of his everyday space, and suddenly he is forced to face your absence rather than take your presence for granted. In the beginning, he may not feel anything dramatic. He might even feel relieved. He might think, finally, no arguments, no pressure, no emotional intensity. But as time moves forward, that initial relief fades and something deeper begins to settle in. He starts noticing the silence where your voice used to be. He starts remembering how things used to feel when you were around. Little moments resurface in his mind. Your patience, your support, your warmth, your way of making him feel understood. None of this happens when you are still standing right in front of him. It happens only when space exists between you. Distance gives him room to compare. When you are gone, he begins measuring his current reality against what he had with you. He might talk to other people, spend time with friends, or distract himself, but none of those interactions replace what you brought into his life. Slowly, clarity sets in. He realizes that what he lost was not just a person, but an emotional experience, a sense of connection, a level of care he may never fully appreciated at the time. Most men do not process emotions in the moment. They need time, space, and quiet to think. When you stay too close, you prevent that process. Your presence keeps him in reaction mode rather than reflection mode. Distance shifts him into reflection. He begins asking himself real questions. Did I treat her right? Did I take her for granted? What did I really feel for her? These are not questions he asks when you are still chasing him or trying to communicate. Distance also removes emotional dependency. When you are constantly available, he may feel secure but not necessarily committed. Space forces him to confront whether he actually wants you or just enjoyed your attention. If he truly values you, distance will make that clearer to him. If he does not, distance will reveal that truth as well. Either way, clarity emerges. There is something powerful about stepping back. It changes how he perceives you. Instead of seeing you as someone who will always stay no matter what, he begins to see you as someone who has boundaries, self-respect, and options. That realization reshapes how he thinks about you. You are no longer just the woman who loves him, but the woman he might have lost. Distance also allows him to experience the practical side of your absence. He notices who checks in on him the way you did, who supports him the way you did, who understands him the way you did. Most of the time, he realizes that no one quite fills that space. That awareness doesn't come from arguments or explanations. It comes from absence. When you create distance, you're not punishing him. You are giving him the opportunity to see things clearly. You are allowing him to step out of emotional chaos and into honest reflection. And in that reflection, the truth about his feelings, his actions, and your worth becomes undeniable. Distance is not about running away. It is about creating space for truth to surface. And in that space, a man often sees more clearly than he ever could when you were standing right beside him. Letting go tests his true intentions. Let me speak to you with honesty, clarity, and depth, because this right here is one of the most powerful relationship truths you will ever understand. Letting go is not just an emotional reaction. It is a test, a mirror, and a revelation all at once. It is the moment where real intentions, real feelings, and real character are exposed, not through words, but through behavior. Most women believe that they will know a man's intentions by how sweet he talks, how often he texts, or how passionately he says he cares. But words are easy, promises are cheap. Anyone can say, I care about you. I don't want to lose you, or you mean a lot to me. The real truth about a man is not revealed when things are comfortable, but when he is faced with the possibility of losing you. When you let go peacefully, you remove yourself from the equation of effort. You stop carrying the relationship on your back. You stop initiating every conversation, fixing every issue, and smoothing over every problem. And in that space, his true intentions begin to show themselves clearly. If a man truly values you, your absence will disturb his peace. It will not sit lightly with him. He may try to act cool at first, but internally he will feel the shift. He will notice that you are no longer chasing, no longer explaining, no longer available in the same way. That discomfort is not punishment. It is clarity. It forces him to ask himself whether he actually wants you in his life, or if he was simply enjoying your presence without real commitment. Letting go removes the mask. Many men stay in situations out of convenience, ego, or comfort rather than genuine love. As long as you are still there, still trying, still hoping, they never have to confront their true feelings. But the moment you step back and let go, they can no longer hide behind your effort. They must either step up or step away. If he comes forward, reaches out, reflects on his behavior, and makes real changes, that reveals genuine interest and accountability. It shows that your absence mattered enough to move him. It shows that he was not just taking you for granted, but that he actually sees your worth when you are no longer readily available. But if he disappears, goes silent, or moves on easily, that is also your answer. And an important one. It means his attachment to you was never as deep as you hoped. It means his intentions were not aligned with commitment, consistency, or emotional investment. And while that may hurt, it saves you from wasting more time on someone who was never truly choosing you. Letting go also tests whether he respects you. A man who respects you will not be comfortable knowing he mistreated you or left things unresolved. Your distance will push him to reflect on how he handled you. He may apologize, take responsibility, or at least show awareness of his role. A man who lacks respect, however, will feel no urgency to make things right because he never truly valued you in the first place. This is why letting go is so powerful. It is not about playing games or manipulating outcomes. It is about stepping out of the way so that truth can reveal itself naturally. When you are constantly present, you interfere with that process. When you let go, you allow reality to speak. Your letting go also tests his emotional maturity. An emotionally mature man will not react with ego, anger, or pride. Instead, he will process, reflect, and communicate. An emotionally immature man will react defensively, blame you, or pretend he never cared. Both reactions give you clear insight into who he truly is. Most importantly, Letting go tests whether he is capable of love or simply capable of attachment. Love moves a man to action, growth, and effort. Attachment keeps him comfortable but stagnant. Your absence forces him to reveal which one he truly feels. When you release your grip, you are not abandoning the possibility of love. You are filtering it. You are separating genuine intentions from temporary interest, real commitment from casual attachment, and emotional depth from surface-level connection. Letting go is your quiet way of asking, if I stop trying, will you still show up? His response, whether he comes closer or drifts further away, tells you everything you need to know. Your withdrawal awakens his emotions. Let me talk to you about something deep, something psychological, something that operates beneath the surface of how men think, feel, and process relationships. Most women assume that emotions work the same way in men as they do in women, but that is not true. Women tend to feel first and act later, while men often act first and feel later. That is why so many women are confused when a man seems distant, cold, or indifferent in the moment, yet months later he suddenly starts missing her, reaching out, or regretting his behavior. What changed? Not the woman, but her withdrawal. When you are constantly present, emotionally available, and openly attached, a man does not have to confront his feelings. Your love cushions him from the reality of what life would be like without you. He may care, he may appreciate you, but he does not fully feel the depth of it. Because nothing has been disrupted, your presence keeps his emotions in a passive state. He knows you are there, so he does not have to process anything deeply. Your withdrawal changes everything. The moment you step back, stop initiating, stop reacting, and stop emotionally pouring into him, something shifts inside his emotional system. At first, he may not notice. He might even feel relieved, thinking that things are calmer or less complicated. But that is only the surface reaction. Beneath that, his subconscious starts registering your absence. Emotions in men often wake up through contrast. As long as you are present, there is no contrast. But when you withdraw, and that gap forces feeling to emerge, he starts noticing small things he used to take for granted, the way you used to check on him, the way you used to make him feel seen, the way your presence added warmth to his life. These realizations do not happen while you are still there. They happen when you are gone. Your withdrawal also removes emotional pressure.